Hello everyone, and welcome to another Front Porch Politics podcast preview. Podcast 130 is going to discuss the coronavirus and how the media and a lot of politicians on the left are using this virus to try to create more socialism in our country. Now, for most of you, you already know that this virus was created, started in Wuhan, China, and it infected people very quickly in the Chinese provinces. Well, it's also spread throughout Europe, and now we have a travel ban. I think it's also important to note that when this all started in January and it all started coming down the line, that President Trump put in place a ban on people coming from China. Of course, Socialist Democrats, well, they labeled him a racist, and we're not surprised by that. Eventually, this virus did reach its way into America, and this is how Americans reacted.
Okay, we're trapped. Everyone for himself. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Get out of my way.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
Now that obviously is just a clip from The Office, but it pretty much sums up how Americans have reacted to this virus. They have went crazy. So what's important to know is that we're going to be okay. Americans have been panicking and buying all the toilet paper they can find from stores. They're fighting over it in stores, and stores can't keep it on the shelf. We're talking about toilet paper, something that we roll trees with in the South. Now, if you're wondering how this all relates to the podcast, which you can listen to at podcast.davidomarch.com, well, that's a great question. In the podcast, we're going to discuss how Nancy Pelosi, in introducing this short-term bill that was supposed to help with coronavirus relief, well, she slid in about $1 billion for abortion funding. She also made this permanent, not just temporary, which is what the bill was supposed to be all about. It's also important to note that some of the things that are taking place in America right now due to coronavirus is exactly what you would see with the Green New Deal with AOC. For those of you who may not know, the Green New Deal was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that mental economic giant's plan to take America into a total socialist state with no fuel. So if you had planned a vacation or you had planned to go on a trip to Europe, wherever it may be, and now those bans are in place and trips have been canceled, well, that's what AOC's climate justice world would look like. No travel outside the United States, and of course, no fun. Everyone's in pure panic mode, and everyone just needs to chill out. Schools are being canceled for 2.5 weeks here in the state of Alabama, and of course, it's all done as a precautionary measure. But you live in the United States, and I will remind you of that, the best country in the world to be sick with anything. So don't lose heart, my friends. Listen to the podcast if you're not at work. If you're self-quarantining, well, this is a good time. But my best advice is to get out, enjoy life. Oh, and not to mention, the stock market has been doing terrible. So right now is your time to buy. If you want to get into the stock market, well, use Robinhood, open an account, and start buying stocks. It will be the best decision you've made in September when everything settles down and everyone gets back to their normal pace of life. This is all politically driven, and of course, it will end in time. But be sure to check out davidomarch.com or podcast.davidomarch.com to listen to Podcast 130, Coronavirus and Socialism, and be sure that you always educate yourself on the ideas of conservatism. Until next time, when we meet again, you stay conservative, my friends. May God bless you, may God bless America, and we will see you real soon.